Welcome to the third episode of Byte-Sized JavaScript. Today we'll publish our code to GitHub and Npm and learn some best practices along the way. So first, let's create our JS Bytes organization in GitHub and upload a nice profile picture maybe and fill in some profile information and then create our first repository within this organization by tapping this button basically. We'll be putting the Jumpstart Node.js code that we have created in the first episode right into this repository. Hence, I'll name this repository accordingly. I'll also add a short description, select a license, in our case it's an MIT license, and then tap Create to create our repository. Next, I'll go to my desktop on my local machine and I'll move the existing source code to a backup folder. Then I'll copy this SSH URL and then clone the repository by doing a git clone and pasting this URL. And this will create a folder in our workspace with the same name as our repository. Now that I've cloned the repository, I'll just move the code I backed up a while ago and then start editing the package.json file. To make our repository easy to discover, we'll add some extra meta information to our JSON, such as the type and the URL of our repository. We'll also add links for the homepage and the page for the bug reports. So let's save this file and then check our git status by running a git status. And here we see that there are certain files that we would not want to be in our source control. And to tell Git to ignore those files, we'll put them into our .gitignore file. So let's go and edit that file and add references to the store and the idea folder there. And this should be enough to tell Git to ignore those files. So let's run git status once more to see if we have missed anything. And now we'll add these files and folders one by one using the git add command. So now we can commit our changes by doing a git commit. And actually that's where things get interesting. If you have been working on an active Git project that multiple people are collaborating into it, it's not unusual to see commit messages similar to this one. That's because writing good commit messages requires some discipline. However, the extra time you spend on creating a better commit message is totally worth it. A well-written commit message is not only useful for you, but also it will be helpful for the next person who will be working on the code in the future. To have some structure around our commit messages, we will use a commit template. To do that, we'll first edit the gitconfig file in our home directory and we'll create a commit section and then put a reference to a template file as you see here. And now we can edit this git message template file. So for instance, we'll add questions related to, the reason why we need this commit in the first place, the overall impact of this commit to the project, which tickets or issues is this commit related to, and whether there are any additional remarks or comments that others need to know about this commit. So when we do another git commit, we'll see this new message template and we can write our commit message accordingly based on this template. And believe me or not, this works miracles. And since we have created a commit, now we can push our changes to GitHub by doing a git push origin master. And this will publish our changes to GitHub. Now let's try to publish this module to Npm as well. And to do this, we'll do a Npm Publish. And if that's the first time you are publishing to Npm on your local machine, you will get this error message because you haven't logged into Npm yet. So let's do a Npm login first, and I'll provide my username, my password, and a public contact email. And now when we do a Npm Publish, we'll see that we have uploaded our module to Npm successfully. This module that we have just published to Npm is public, so anyone can install it by using npm install. Npm also supports private modules. The private modules feature in Npm is not free, and as of the time of this recording, it's I guess $7 a month. And if you ask me, it's totally worth it if you need that kind of a feature. So to use a private module, you'll need to prefix your module name with an @ and your npm user ID and then a / as you see here. And when you do that, followed by an npm publish, your code will be private and only visible to you in your private npm repository. So let's wrap up what we have learned so far. We have created a GitHub organization and a repository in that organization. We modified our gitignore and package.json files. We have learned how to create useful and productive commit messages by using git commit message templates. And then we published our stuff to Npm. And we also learned about how we can publish a private module to Npm. Wow, that was a lot to squeeze into 5 minutes. And now that we know the basics, in the following sections, we'll dive into the wonderful world of task automation. And for that, we'll be using a great tool called Bodyworks. Bodyworks, as we'll see in the next episode, is a fantastic service when you need to create a pipeline to automate, integrate, and deliver things. And it will be the topic of our next episode. So until then, may the source be with you.